Hey everyone, welcome back to Now channel. Today is January 29th, 2026, and the AI world has been absolutely packed with news. From Google turning Chrome into a full-on AI agent, to Tesla doubling down on humanoid robots in the middle of a business slump, to big questions about AI safety inside governments and social media giants. Let's break it all down. First up, Google is quietly trying to turn your browser into a personal digital worker. This news comes from the Verge AI, published January 28, 2026, and from Ars Technica AI, also on January 28, 2026. Google is rolling out a new Gemini-powered feature in Chrome called Auto Browse. If you're in the US and you subscribe to Google's AI Pro or AI Ultra tiers, Chrome can now do multi-step tasks for you across the web. We're not just talking about simple summaries anymore. According to The Verge, Auto Browse can research hotel and flight prices, schedule appointments, fill out online forms, manage subscriptions, and more. Essentially, acting like an AI browsing agent that clicks, navigates, and inputs on your behalf. Ars Technica AI reports that this is rolling out starting today, again limited to AI Pro and AI Ultra subscribers, and that there are some constraints like permissions, checkpoints, and guardrails around what the agent can actually do. In Google's demos, the agent pauses before doing anything sensitive, like logging into accounts or entering credit card numbers, and asks you to confirm each step. This is a big shift. Instead of just answering questions about the page you're on, Gemini is starting to operate the browser itself. Think of it as the early stages of a do-this-for-me web, but slow, experimental, but clearly where Google wants Chrome to go. And that's not the only Gemini upgrade coming to your browser. This next story comes from Engadget Tech News, published January 28, 2026. Engadget reports that Google is bringing a whole suite of Gemini tools into Chrome, including a new sidebar and direct access to Google's in-house image generator, Nano Banana. The new Gemini sidebar lives right inside Chrome and is available to all Gemini in Chrome users. You can keep a conversation going as you move across tabs, and testers have been using it to compare products across way too many tabs, summarize reviews from different sites, or even help find time for events in messy calendars. The sidebar is also where Nano Banana shows up. Instead of going to the separate Gemini app, you can now generate images or edit existing ones directly from any tab. No need to download and re-upload files. You just call up Gemini in the sidebar and work with images in place. Looking ahead, Google told Engadget it plans to bring personal intelligence, a feature that debuted in the Gemini app earlier this month, into Chrome. That would let the browser remember past conversations you've had with Gemini and use your history to provide more personalized and proactive help. Combined with connected apps, which already lets Gemini pull contacts from Gmail, Calendar, and more, you are seeing Chrome move from a general-purpose browser toward what Google calls a trusted partner that understands you. Put that together with Auto Browse, and the theme is clear. Google is trying to turn Chrome plus Gemini into an AI agent that knows your data, remembers your preferences, and can actually do things for you across the web. Now, while Google is trying to automate your browsing, governments are quietly using AI to automate their own workflows, and sometimes in ways that raise serious ethical and security questions. This next story comes from Wired's Artificial Intelligence section, published January 28, 2026. Wired reports that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has been using Palantir's AI tools to process and summarize tips that come into its tip line since last spring. According to a newly released Department of Homeland Security document, an AI-powered Palantir system is helping triage and summarize these incoming tips. On one hand, this is a classic AI for scale use case. Agencies overwhelmed with information turning to AI to sift, rank, and summarize. On the other hand, it raises big questions about accuracy, bias, and due process. If an AI system misinterprets or over-prioritizes certain tips, that can have real-world consequences for people being investigated. So that's one government AI story. The second one is much more blunt. What happens when top officials misuse AI tools? This story comes from Ars Technica AI, published January 28, 2026. Ars Technica reports that the acting head of a U.S. cyber defense agency accidentally uploaded secret government information into ChatGPT. This came out during questioning in Congress, where lawmakers were already grilling the official about mass layoffs and a failed polygraph. This is a nightmare scenario for security professionals. Sensitive or classified information being pasted into a commercial AI tool that's not clear for that level of data. Even with privacy policies and enterprise agreements, this kind of incident shows how easy it is for human error to turn AI tools into a vector for leaks. Together, the ICE Palantir story and the ChatGPT leak story show both sides of AI in government. On one side, agencies automating analysis with powerful tools. On the other, very human mistakes that can compromise security if people treat chatbots like casual helpers instead of serious infrastructure. Now let's switch gears to robotics and business, specifically Tesla's big bet that robots will matter more than cars. We've got two related stories here, both from the Verge AI, both published January 28, 2026. The first article, from the Verge AI, reports that Tesla says a production-ready version of its Optimus humanoid robot is coming soon. In its latest earnings report, Tesla says that the third-generation Optimus, meant for mass production, will be unveiled in the first quarter of 2026. This new Gen 3 Optimus will have major upgrades over version 2.5, including Tesla's latest hand design, and the company is already preparing the first production line, which it says will start before the end of 2026. Long-term, Tesla is planning for a staggering capacity of up to 1 million robots per year. Elon Musk had previously predicted 5,000 robots in 2025, which he appears to have missed. But the message now is clear. Tesla is framing Optimus as a central piece of its future, not just a side project. But here's where the context matters. The second Verge AI piece, also published January 28, 2026, points out that Tesla just hit a grim financial milestone, its second straight year of declining revenue and profits. Tesla reported $24.9 billion in revenue and $840 million in net income for Q4 2025. That's a 3% drop in revenue and a massive 61% drop in profits compared to the same quarter in 2024 when the company earned $2.3 billion on $25.7 billion in revenue. Meanwhile, the global EV market is still growing. Other automakers are moving forward, while Tesla's numbers are heading the wrong way. That makes Musk's push to transform Tesla into an AI and robotics company, with robotaxis and humanoid robots at the center, much riskier. The Optimus bet is being placed at a time when the core business is under pressure. So, in the same week, we have Google turning browsers into AI agents, and Tesla trying to turn a car company into a robot and AI platform, all while its financial cushion is getting thinner. Next, let's zoom out from individual companies to national strategy. This story comes from the NVIDIA blog, published January 28, 2026. NVIDIA released a piece titled Accelerating Science, a Blueprint for a Renewed National Quantum Initiative. The core argument: quantum technologies from computing and sensing to networking and new materials are becoming foundational for economic competitiveness, national security, and scientific leadership in the 21st century. The blog lays out a case for sustained U.S. leadership in quantum information science. That includes funding, industry, government, collaboration, building a skilled domestic workforce, and making sure breakthroughs in quantum actually translate into secure technologies and real industries. Even though this is coming from NVIDIA's own blog, it fits a much bigger theme. AI, high-performance computing, and quantum are converging. Companies like NVIDIA want to position themselves as central players, not just in AI chips, but in the entire computational stack that will drive future science and defense. While big nations fight for strategic advantage, the OpenAI research community is also making moves. This next story comes from MarkTechPost AI News, published January 28, 2026. MarkTechPost reports that researchers at MBZUAI, the Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, have released K2 Think V2, a 70 billion parameter reasoning model focused on math, code, and science. What makes K2 Think V2 stand out is that it's described as a fully sovereign model. Every part of the training pipeline is transparent and open. The project is basically a test. How far can you push long-horizon reasoning and state-of-the-art performance using an open and fully documented training process? In a landscape where many of the top models are closed, proprietary, and trained on undisclosed data with opaque methods, K2 Think V2 is planting a flag for open, sovereign AI, especially in high-stakes domains like scientific research and programming. So we're seeing this split. On one side, hypervertical, closed AI systems integrated into products like Chrome and Tesla's robots. On the other, open research models that anyone can inspect, audit, and build on. Finally, we have to talk about one of the most sensitive fronts in AI right now, safety for kids and teens. This story comes from Mashable Tech News, published January 28, 2026. Mashable reports that newly released documents tied to a lawsuit filed by the New Mexico Attorney General allege that Meta executives allow teens to use AI chatbots despite internal safety warnings. According to the lawsuit, there were concerns inside Meta about AI companions and the risk of sexual or inappropriate interactions with minors. The allegation is that those warnings were not acted on strongly enough and that Meta pushed forward with teen access anyway. If true, this hits right at the center of ongoing debates around AI safety, child protection online, and regulatory oversight. We're not just dealing with abstract harms here. We're talking about AI systems that can build emotional connections with young users and then potentially engage in or allow harmful content. Put this next to the ICE Palantir story and the ChatGPT leak, and you see the pattern. AI is already deeply embedded in government, security, and social platforms, but the safety and governance frameworks are struggling to keep up. So, to tie all of this together, on the consumer side, Google is turning Chrome into an AI-first browser, with Gemini handling your browsing, your images, your schedule, and soon your personal memory. On the industrial side, Tesla is betting its future on humanoid robots like Optimus, even as its core EV business stumbles. At the national level, NVIDIA is calling for a renewed push in quantum to secure long-term technological leadership. On the research front, MBZUAI's K2 Think V2 shows that open sovereign reasoning models are not just possible but competitive, especially for math, code, and science. And in the background, governments and platforms are wrestling with the darker side of AI. Palantir tools triaging tips for ICE, a US cyber defense chief leaking secrets into ChatGPT, and Meta facing allegations that it exposed teens to unsafe AI companions despite internal warnings. The common thread: AI is no longer a separate tech story. It's your browser, your car, your government, your national strategy, your kids' social apps, and the tools scientists use to push the boundaries of knowledge. It's everywhere, and the stakes are getting higher on both the opportunity and the risk side. If you want to dive deeper into any of these stories, check out the original reporting from the Verge AI, Ars Technica AI, Engadget Tech News, Wired Artificial Intelligence, the NVIDIA blog, MarkTechPost AI News, and Mashable Tech News. They're the ones doing the on-the-ground journalism that makes roundups like this possible. Thanks for tuning into today's AI News Roundup for January 29th, 2026. If you want more daily breakdowns of the biggest moves in AI, from product launches to policy fights, make sure you're subscribed. And let me know in the comments which of these stories you think will have the biggest long-term impact. Chrome as an AI agent, Tesla's Optimus push open reasoning models like K2 Think V2, or the growing wave of AI safety and regulation battles. I'll see you in the next one.